Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Well, Jello again, Jack Benny wanting to go out to the ball game, but instead he's going to listen on the radio. The World Series is around, and that's what you're going to hear, Jack Benny listening to the World Series. This episode goes back to October 6, 1946.
Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, last Sunday, Jack Benny started his 15th year in radio. All week long, he's been receiving letters and telegrams of congratulation, and his friends in Hollywood have been constantly calling him. So now let's go out to Jack's home in Beverly Hills, where we find him talking on the phone.
Oh, it wasn't that good. What? Oh, Ingrid. I mean, you're so kind, and coming from you, it's a great compliment. You know, Ingrid, praise is the lifeblood of an actor, so thanks for the transfusion. Well, thanks so much for calling. It was so sweet of you. By the way, Ingrid, I hope I'm not being too presumptuous, but may I take you to lunch Thursday? I may? Oh, no, Ingrid, I won't forget. Goodbye. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss?
Mark this down. Lunch Thursday with Ingrid Krausmeyer. At 1 o'clock.
Is that Krausmeyer, boss?
Yeah, she works at Republic. She's in charge of the saddles. Well, I certainly feel happy getting all these telephones. Oh, there it goes again. Oh, well, that's the price of fame. Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Benny. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Another one of my fans. You know, Rochester, I appreciate people calling me up and telling me how good I was, but it can get a little annoying.
You didn't have that trouble with the horn blows at midnight.
You can kid all you want to, Rochester, but that picture will go down in history.
It sure will. That's the first thing Gromyko ever walked out on.
Well, Gromyko walked out on that picture because he doesn't understand English.
His interpreter was leading him.
All right.
And Molotov was right behind him.
That's enough. I'm going into the library. Oh, darn it. Sometimes I wonder if it's worth all this. Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Benny. What? I mailed that yesterday. Oh, yeah? Well, you can't disconnect it while I'm talking on it. What? You're up on the pole now? Well, put away those snippers and get down from there. I told you I mailed it. How do you like that? Rochester, do you know there was a man up on the telephone pole?
You mean Sam?
Oh, you know him?
Sure, he goes up there first of every month.
Say, Rochester, what time is it?
It's about 11:15.
Good. The World Series will be on pretty soon. I want to hear it. I'll listen to it in the... Oh, there goes that phone again. You answer it, Rochester. Tell him I'm not at home.
Yes, sir. Hello? No, I'm sorry, but Mr. Benny's not home. Who? Thank you. I'll tell him you called.
Who was it, Rochester?
It was Ingrid Bergman this time.
What? Give me that phone. Hello? Not you, and get down off that pole. Hello? Rochester, why didn't you call me?
You told me to say you were out.
Just wait till you get a call.
But, boss, you told me to say it.
Never mind what I told you. You should know if I'll talk to Krausmeyer, I'll talk to Bergman. I'm going into the other room and listen to the World Series.
Okay.
And Rochester, early this morning, I put in a long-distance call to New York, so plug the phone in the library.
Yes, sir.
Gee, I wonder if St. Louis will win the... Well, I'll know pretty soon. I'll answer it, Rochester. Take back your rumba, your samba, your conga,
Hello, Jack.
Well, hello, Mary. Come on in. You're just in time. I'm going to listen to the World Series.
The World Series? Who's playing?
Boston against Ingrid Bergman. I mean Boston and St. Louis. Come on in the library.
Say, Jack, did you read the wonderful things the critics said about your opening program?
Well, no, Mary. After all, I've been on the air for 15 years, and I feel that when I have a show to do, I just go out and do the best I can, and I don't concern myself with what the critics say.
Then why have they got the reviews pasted on your glasses?
Those are the lineups for today's game. I want to have them handy. Well, the game ought to be on pretty soon.
Oh, Jack, before I forget it, I got a letter from Mama yesterday.
Your mother? Well, what did the truculent turtle of Plainfield have to
She mentioned your first broadcast, and she liked it very much.
say? She did? Your mother? That sweet little gray-haired old lady who fractured your father's skull like my program?
Yeah, and she even took the bandages off so Papa could hear it.
Well, that was nice.
And Jack.
Yeah. What is it, Mary?
Oh, Mama was so cute. She said she was preparing dinner when she listened to the radio, and while your program was on, she peeled 4 pounds of onions.
Oh, fine. Listening to me and peeling onions.
Mama said she was laughing on the inside and crying on the outside.
Hey, that's pretty good. But you know, Mary, if your mother thought last week's show was something, wait till she hears the one we got for this week.
But, Jack, how do you get your scripts if your writers are still stranded on the gambling ship?
I sit on the beach and they wigwag them to me. The scripts are over there on the table, Mary. You better take a look at them.
Okay.
Just brush the sand off. Let's see, I wonder what station the World Series will be on. It should be around...
Oh, for heaven's sake, Jack, I'm not going to do this gag here.
Where?
Right here on page 3. It's too corny.
Mary, that's a topical joke, and we have to do that kind of stuff.
I don't care if it is topical. I'm not going to say that you have to go out with a girl in Brooklyn because you can't dodge her.
Dodger, don't you get it, Mary? The Brooklyn Dodgers. That's a baseball joke.
Well, I'm not going to do it.
All right. If you don't want the gag, I'll give it to Dennis. He'll be very happy with it.
Dennis is happy if he looks in a mirror and he's there.
Look, Mary, I don't want to discuss it now. The game will be on pretty soon. I want to listen to it.
Okay. Say, wait a minute, Jack. What's that black crepe on your radio for?
Fred Allen comes back on the air today.
He does? What time?
We light the candles at 5:30. Well, we still got a few minutes before the game. I wonder who's going to pitch for St. Louis.
Look on your glasses and see.
Oh, yes. Well, they have Paulette's schedule, but then you never can tell. Oh, there goes the phone again. Mary, it's been like this all week long. Congratulations, compliments. I've never seen anything like it. Hello? Yes, this is Mr. Benny. Well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Goodbye.
Who was it?
There'll be a 2-hour delay on my call to New York.
Well, don't let it go to your head. They say that to everybody.
Yeah, so the way she said it, I knew she liked my program. Oh, Rochester, do me a favor, will you, please?
Yes, boss.
Pick up these scripts and put them in my briefcase. I don't want to forget them when I go to the studio.
Yes, sir. I'll put them right next to your Christmas card samples.
Good.
Say, Jack, when I was looking through the script before, I didn't see a commercial.
I know, Mary, and I don't know what to do about it. Don Wilson got me to hire that lousy quartet and put them under contract for 8 weeks at $500 a week. For $500, all they did was, Imagine 4 big jerks going, and one bigger jerk paying them.
Well, why don't you break their contract?
I don't know how.
Well, how did Warner Brothers do it to you?
They didn't break my contract. They just burned down my dressing room. I'll never forget the look on Jack Warner's face when he found out I wasn't in it at the time. And when do you think they... Oh, there's the phone again. Hello? Yes? Well, thank you. Thanks very much. And you also like me on Dennis Day's program? Well, that's awfully sweet. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Dennis. He's coming over here pretty soon. Well, it's almost time for the World Series. I might as well try and...
Hey, Jack, look out the window. Here comes Don Wilson with that quartet.
Oh, yes. I wonder what they want now. Come in!
Hello, Jack. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Don.
Say, Jack, look who I brought with me.
I know. Hello, fellas. That's what I mean. Don, I'm glad you brought the quartet over. I want to talk to you about them.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? I'm not going to keep paying $500 a week just to hear them go, during a commercial.
Well, Jack, at the end of our show last week, when you kicked me in the stomach, I suspected you weren't quite satisfied.
You bet I wasn't satisfied. I'm not going to pay $500 for a quartet for one note. Now, listen to me, Wilson. This is all your idea, not mine. And And if you think for 1 minute that I'm going to... Hello? Yes? Thank you. Thanks very much. It was so nice of you to tell me. Goodbye. Now, Wilson, if you think for 1 minute that I'm
Who
going...
is that, Jack?
It's only an hour delay now. Don, if you think for 1 minute that I'm going to be stuck with this quartet, you're crazy. And to show you I mean what I say, I know how to break their contract.
Jack, put down those matches.
I can't help it, I'm mad.
Oh, boss, if you want to hear the World Series, it'll be on pretty soon.
Okay. Thanks, Rochester.
The World Series. Jack, do you mind if we stay and listen?
I guess not, Don. Now, let's see. I think the game comes over station. Hello?
That's the door buzzer.
Come in! Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, everybody.
Look, Jack, Dennis brought his father with him.
Imagine him coming here in his old greasy overalls. How do you do, Mr. Day?
That's my mother. She just came from work.
Oh. How do you do, Mrs. Day?
How do you do? Now, remember, Mother, you promised you wouldn't hit him.
Hit me?
Yeah, there's something about you that brings out the beast in her.
Now, Mrs. Day, I don't know what you have in mind, but I'd like to talk to you some other time. Right now, I want to listen to...
You listen to me first.
All right, and put down that wrench. Now, what is it?
Well, Mr. Benny, now that my Dennis is a star on his own show, you must uphold his dignity by giving him more lines, more songs, his own dressing room. And at all times, he must be treated with the utmost respect. Yeah, utmost.
Now, look, Mrs. Day. Now, you listen to me. You can run Dennis's life if you want to, but you're not going to run mine.
Gee, Mr. Benny, my father wouldn't dare talk to her like that.
Your father. What a weakling he must be. Where'd your mother ever get him, anyway?
Eastern Columbia, Broadway at night.
Gee, they have everything. Now, Mrs. Day, look, I don't want to talk any more about it, and that's settled.
All right, if that's the way you feel about it, come on, Dennis, we'll go home.
Dennis stays right here. I want to hear the song he's going to do on my program.
Very well, but I'm leaving. I'll wait for you outside, Dennis. Goodbye. Gee, she's a character, isn't she?
I'll say she is. Now, go ahead, Dennis. I want to hear the song you're going to do.
Okay.
I have trouble with everybody.
While Dennis sings, we'll take a break. October 6, 1946, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medishare right now. Medishare is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medishare can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medishare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now the conclusion of the Jack Benny Show, October 6, 1946.
Well, that was very, very good, Dennis. By the way, you just recorded that number, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's swell. Now, we're going to listen to the World Series, kid. You want to stay?
No, I better run along. The character is waiting for me.
Okay. So long, kid.
Come on, Jack. The game must be starting about now.
All right. I'll turn it on. Now, let's see.
And now a message from our sponsor, the Happy Home Sweet Home Real Estate Company.
Friends, do you have a roof over your head, or have you been roughing it in the La Brea tar pit? Don't pay the exorbitant prices for houses that are being asked today by our competitors. Don't go out blindly and be hooked by just anyone. Come to us. Remember, we are your friends.
Jack.
Wait a minute, I want to hear it.
Listen to this week's special offer. For only $67,000, you can get a beautiful California Monterey-style Quonset hut.
Gee, they've gone down.
Jack, get the ball game.
Okay.
In a green caravan, there's a lady named
No, John, don't leave me, I beg you. I implore you. Please, John, I love you. I love you.
Hey, this sounds interesting.
John, if you no longer care for me, think of the children. Think of William, Linda, Milton, Jeanette, Percy, Ellen, Hilda, Stephen, Ken, Peggy, Harriet, Margaret, Richard, Dorothy, and little 4-year-old Herbert, our eldest.
Herbert is only 4 years old?
Jack, the ball game.
Oh, I thought she was giving the lineup.
She looked at my hand and told me my lover was always true.
Why can't I get it?
Think of it, ladies and gentlemen. A California Monterey-style Quonset hut for only...
I wish I knew what station that ball game is on. I don't know why I can't.
No, John, don't leave me. All day long I do the housework. Not to mention the mending for William, Linda, Milton, Jeanette, Percy, Ellen, Hilda,
She thinks I want to wait for Herbert. She's crazy. I must find the ball game.
Bottles on their rocking, cause I wanna believe the gypsy, the way she shakes her tambourine.
Oh, what's the matter? I can't seem to get it.
Hiya, Jackson. Hello, everybody.
Hey, hello, Phil. Yeah. Phil, sit down a minute, will you? I'm trying to get the ball game. Hey, Phil, you haven't forgotten about our bet, have you?
Of course not.
How much did you bet, Jack?
Well, it wasn't money. You see, Phil has St. Louis, I have Boston, and the winner gets to kiss Betty Grable.
What about the loser?
He holds Harry James.
Yeah.
Well, if Jack wins, who's going to hold Betty Grable?
Don't be funny. Sit down, Phil. Maybe I can get the game now.
No, I'm sorry, Jackson, but I can't stay. You see, I just dropped in to invite you to a little stag party we're giving for Frankie, my guitar player. He's getting married.
Frankie's getting married?
Sure.
Well, who's he marrying, Phil?
Well, that little girl who plays the harp in my band.
Gee, imagine Frankie getting married. I didn't even know they were serious. I know he went out with her once.
Well, that's what did it. When he brought her home, her father was standing on the front porch with a clarinet, and Frank thought it was a shotgun.
Well, that's a logical mistake. Don't rush off, Phil. Sit down and listen to the game. Will you?
Sorry, Jackson, I got to run along. I'll see you at the party.
Okay, but I'll get there a little late. I'm on Charlie McCarthy's program today.
Okay, so long, everybody.
Goodbye, Phil. So long, Phil. Give my regards to Alice.
Alice, M.S.T.
Now be quiet and we'll hear the game.
The gypsy can look in the future and drive away
Oh, for
all
heaven's
your
sake.
fears.
If you buy one of our lovely homes for $67,000, you'll have room for the whole family, including William, Linda, Milton, Jeanette, Percy, Ellen, Hilda, Stephen.
Oh, John, what's come over you? You've changed so. You were never like this until we moved into this California Monterey-style Quonset hut.
There's something wrong with this radio. Hey, what's that?
Here we are in the third inning of this very crucial first World Series game.
That's it. I got it.
A hush falls over the crowd. The count is 2 and 3, and here comes the pitch. It's a long drive out to left field. Williams is going back. He can't get it. It's a hit, and Greenberg's on third.
Greenberg? That was last year's game.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Greenberg's on third. The bases are now loaded, and coming up to bat is the Gypsy.
The Gypsy?
In a quaint caravan,
Oh, this is all mixed up. I'll read about it in the paper. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say a few words about the USO fundraising drive for 1947. The war is not yet over for 200,000 veterans still in our hospitals, to say nothing of the men sweating out their discharges, the troops overseas, the teenage soldiers away from home for the first time. The USO has served them well, and it has been a big responsibility, and it will be ahead for next year. Let's continue to support our veterans by giving generously to the USO through your community chest or your local USO campaign. Thank you. Hello? Oh, my New York call? Yes, I'm ready. Hello? Hello? Yes, this is Jack Benny. Well, what about my offer? No, I can't do it. I can't do it. $50 is all right, $60. Okay, it's a deal. Goodbye.
Jack, who is that?
I just bought the Brooklyn Dodgers.
By the way, the soap opera actress was played by B. Benaderet, and I used to have the information on that gal that sings real nasally, but I can't find that. But anyway, there you have it, Jack Benny, and the first show of the season, October 6, 1946, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Don't forget our webpage, classicradio.stream. When we continue, we'll move to 1957 for an episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense. But first, these important words. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense, from October 6th, 1957.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
Talent is an elusive and mystifying phenomenon, and one of the most curious things about it is that it manifests itself in the most unexpected places. One of the most talented sound men in radio broadcasting is Tom Hanley. We did not know until recently that he possesses another talent. He is an extraordinarily fine writer. It is his radio play you are about to hear. Another talent with whom you have been familiar for years is Jack Carson, one of our great comedians, and also a fine dramatic actor. In a moment, he exposes another facet of his quite extensive talents as our storyteller. Listen then as Jack Carson stars in Tom Hanley's terrifying story, Misfire.
And now, Misfire, starring Mr. Jack Carson. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Ground zero, somewhere on the deserts. We are inside the cab where the bomb, this one called Jackhammer, awaits the impulse from control points 14 miles to the south. Electronic gossips hum and throb their chatter about the health of the patient suspended 500 feet above the desert floor. But the unfeeling machines neglect to mention a human factor this morning, an imprint of carelessness. A small metal wrench jammed in the track of the electronically controlled door. A shift of sand occurs against one of the great steel legs anchored to the desert floor. And a brown-backed desert tortoise trundles out for a look at his world. A world of sage and sand and space stretching endlessly off into the darkness. No man is in sight. That is good. There have been days of hiding from men. But now they have gone, and the tortoise tries his warning legs and plans his new day.
H-1. Place eye protectors in position and turn back to fireball. 55, 54.
From 100 loudspeakers miles removed from ground zero, the tape-recorded voice begins its countdown.
48.
No margin for error now.
46.
No turning back. Test
44,
shot Jackhammer
43,
is underway.
42, 41.
A mile and a half from ground zero, a 22-year-old Marine corporal crouches in a trench, his head rammed into his arms.
34.
He and 1,999 other Marines are there to prove that man is not afraid.
29, 28,
Not really.
27,
A little over a mile from Ground Zero, in a concrete bunker with its air conditioning secured, sit the civil defense men. They want to know what chance their cities will have against the day that must never come.
14.
At control point, men sit silently, watching instruments designed to tell them how efficiently Jackhammer does its job.
7.
And the tortoise slumbers across his front yard in search of breakfast.
3, 2, 1.
What happened, Doctor?
Misfire. It's a misfire.
Did you check it?
Attention, all personnel. Attention, all personnel. This is Dr. Thurston. Test shot Jackhammer is incomplete due to undetermined failure. Maintain positions till further notice. You are still on detonation alert.
Now, gentlemen, I will ask for reports from each of you. Be so good as to prepare your...
Lee Thurston, Ph.D., physicist and test director for Test Shot Jackhammer. It is now his responsibility to consolidate all the data from countless machines and scientists in control point into a calculation that will reveal the cause for misfire.
Dr. Thurston?
What is it, Butler?
Everything was normal on my phase until H-49.
Grant, that would coincide with your variance, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but Frank, you shouldn't have had any reading at all at that time.
On the sub-relay meter, I didn't. It showed normal, and then there was a complete negative to zero response.
Then there it is, Dr. Thurston. It's an on-site rejection of voltage.
Huh. In other words, the fault lies at Ground Zero.
According to these data, yeah.
Well, can correction be made from here? We can't have anybody going out there.
We'll know after we check the monitor lists.
There's one consolation, Dr. Thurston.
What's that?
We put it together. We ought to be able to take it apart.
Yes. Yes, we ought to. But can we?
The second act of Suspense continues in 1 minute.
October 6, 1957, Suspense on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Suspense, October 6, 1957.
And now, we continue with Act 2 of Misfire, starring Mr. Jack Carson. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
There's no walking away from an atom bomb. No asking who left it there, so it becomes a story of people, the disarming. Lee Thurston, MIT graduate, 1932, old enough to have been appalled at the thought of an atom bomb, scientific enough to accept it, human enough to demand influence in its use. John Grant, 36, a red-headed giant who daily deals in miracles, believes in them, makes them work. Frank Butler, former child prodigy, grown bald at 28, bachelor, attendant now at the bigamous wedding of electronics, nuclear fission, and power politics.
An on-site test is the only way to check it out.
No, Butler, that would mean 2 men at Ground Zero.
But there's no explanation for what we're finding here.
He's right, Doctor. If we accept our data, we have a power failure originating at the cab itself.
With a risk of delayed detonation, Grant. You can't forget that.
I'm not. There are 2,000 Marines and 12 CD men out there. How long can they wait?
Dr. Thurston?
Yes, what is it?
General Matting on the phone, sir. Wants to know if he can evacuate yet.
No, not until we know more about the cause of the misfire. I'll let him know.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Winship.
Yes?
Tell the photo lab I can't wait any longer for those final pictures of the patch bay under the bomb.
I will, sir.
For now, we'll go over those monitor checklists again, gentlemen. We mustn't have any errors.
NewsNob has a mathematics of its own. The bomb plus the names of the men in control point plus a little background data equals a story. Mention that these men were in high school when the first atomic pile was activated. Mention that it would have taken that first pile 150,000 years to make enough plutonium to satisfy this bomb. Point out how the Cold War overcame all that. But tell mostly of the struggle to stop Jackhammer this morning. Hello, New York?
Get me Barney, will you, honey? Tell him it's Pierce. Yeah, well, then call him at home. It's important.
Hey, where'd you get the coffee? I need some. I'm freezing over here.
Here you go.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hello, Barney.
Yeah.
Now, listen, you better call that off and go on into the office. This may develop into something out here. The bomb didn't go off.
Yeah,
No, not a delay. It just didn't take. Well, the rumor we hear is that the last boys to hook it up are going to have to go out and coax it down. How do I know who it'll be? Yeah, I know that's what I'm here for. I know. Yeah, and Barney, don't call me. I'll call you.
The Marine lies flat now. Permission granted. He hears unsolicited advice from his buddy on how to run an atom bomb test. But he thinks about Vegas. And he wonders whether he'll ever see her again. The girl with the dark hair, the dark eyes, the wonderful smile, and the Cadillac convertible. In the civil defense shelter, it's hot. No air conditioning for 40 minutes now. These heavy clothes and sealed up this way. Somebody better call control. They must have forgotten us. But they haven't. They're concerned with more important things at control, like the photo lab with the final pictures of the victim, Jack Hammer. Pictures of the bomb with its viscera displayed, A to B and yellow to ground. The proper circuit for agony.
Well, this one's okay. This one's all right. The pictures show the patch cords are all okay, Dr. Thurston.
Wait a minute. Just a minute now. We've always assumed that if we got power to the site proper, that it would go on to the bomb.
Of course. The door to the cab completes the circuit. Voltage to the door, voltage to the bomb.
All right, then. What if the voltage didn't get beyond the door?
Oh, that's impossible. Our monitors show the door completely closed.
All right, but what if it didn't? For some reason.
What reason? What could go wrong that wouldn't show on the monitors?
I don't know, but it's got to be out there. Let me go check it.
I can't order anybody out there.
I'm asking to go.
I'll go with you, Frank.
No.
Well, if anybody goes, it should be two. You'd need a phone line during the climb in case we found anything here. You'd need test equipment, tools for opening the door manually, radiation test gear, and a wrench. That disconnect would have to be made immediately, Frank.
A wrench?
What's the matter? You look ill.
No, nothing, sir. I've had no sleep, I guess.
500 feet and no power for the elevator, Frank. I'll go with you.
All right. But I ought to go alone.
The afterbirth of darkness is light, the insipid gray light of a desert dawn. The night animals scurry homeward, and the day things begin their minor motions, and slowly it begins. The gradual creep of light and warmth across the land, till its source explodes in the vastness of the desert. There it becomes the sudden kiss of heat, heat that warms, heat that kills, and the in-between heat, the heat that expands. Man's product, the awkward wrench, lies in its cramped position on the tower. Having severed the connection to the bomb, it tries to make amends by stretching, ever so slightly expanding, encouraged by the heat of the sun. The electronic condensers on the door await their cue, metal on metal, and the blinding concussion that has no beginning nor any end. And the tortoise, unaware, accepts his gifts from the land and goes in search of his image.
I better go up first, John.
No, you got to man the phone. I'll start first, open the door manually, and check for radiation. Then you shoot in and disconnect the thing.
All right. Hey, John?
Yeah.
You think we'll ever get off the tower?
We may never get on it if we sit here and talk. Let's go.
Hello, Barney. Now listen, they've started climbing the tower. That's right, 500 feet. I don't know how many stories that is. The Washington Monument is 550, I think, but... Now look, get this, Barney. Play this one straight, will you? No heroics. This one will stand on its own. Sure, we're on a detonation alert. Well, who knows what's going to happen?
The fear of falling. It never goes away. It only becomes conditioned to the environment. And 500 feet straight up has no relation to man. To look down or not to look down, this becomes the problem. And what do you look at? The eyes of the man below you? No. They reflect the fear of two men. The expanse of dry lake, do you look at that? No. It shimmers in the coming heat, brings on the dizziness. Do you look inside yourself at the fear of God? You might look there, that might help. But for the most part, you climb. You lift each aching limb after the other. One platform after another. One after another.
Rest a second, Frank. How you doing?
Okay. How much further?
One more platform, Frank. Just one more.
It's murder.
There's one consolation, though.
What?
Going down. We'll have power to the elevator afterwards, and we'll ride down.
Maybe. If there is an afterwards.
The wrench. It's missing from the kit. Couldn't be up here, though. Couldn't possibly be. Must have dropped it, but not up here. Not where it could do damage.
Better get on the phone and tell Dr. Thurston we're here.
Okay. Dr. Thurston? Dr. Thurston?
Yes.
We're at the top.
Good. Have you found anything?
Grant is at the door now. We'll make a manual entry as soon as we can.
Good.
Frank, tell him to read the voltage sheet on this door. I don't think it's completely closed.
Check the voltage sheet on the door, Doctor.
Hey, Frank, come here.
What is it?
Yes, hello. Were you talking to me?
Hold it, Doctor.
There, can you see it? Here. Look, from here. There's a small wrench.
Oh, no.
It's wedged in the door there. You see it?
John, it's mine. That's my wrench. I must have dropped it when we were up here arming the bomb.
It can happen. Look, through the glass. It severed the detonation circuit. That's what happened.
But it completed the door contact.
Sure, that's why the monitors didn't show it. Good Lord, Frank. Look how close it is to making contact.
John, that's going to go any second.
Take it easy now. Move and shade that thing. Heat expansion will set it off.
How's this?
Give me the phone. Dr. Thurston. Dr. Thurston, can you hear me?
Grant, is that you?
Now listen carefully. We've found the problem. A small hand wrench has been accidentally dropped into the door track.
Good Lord.
Now apparently it severed the detonation circuit, but it's so close to making the contact now that we've got to have power to the door.
Not while you're there. Come off the tower. We'll open it.
No, you don't understand. The door condensers are already loaded with enough power to detonate the bomb.
Well, is the wrench above the contact?
Yes.
Then opening the door will drop the wrench and set it off.
Look, you got to give me power, just enough to make the door jump. I'm putting a pair of pliers on the wrench. I'll yank it out as soon as you loosen the door.
What if you miss?
I'll never know about it.
John, you gotta do something fast. The sun is
Thurston,
moving.
you've got to. You can't leave us like this.
I can't risk it. Try to get back.
No chance. Now, if you could only see it.
All right. I'll do it. Winship, give me ground zero power on my count. Just do it. I can't explain now. Grant?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Grant, I'll give you a 10-second count.
Make it 5.
All right, 5. I get a good hold on that wrench. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is that it, Grant? Grant, are we out of it?
Nice going, John.
We're out of it, Thurston. We're out now. The bomb can't go off.
The desert sun continues to work its subtle magic on the wrench, expanding ineffectually on the platform floor. The Marine stands up in the trench. The CD men emerge from their steel shelter to the relative chill of the desert heat. The newsmen converge on ground zero. The redhead and the baldhead hop from the welcome elevator to see a tortoise scurrying ponderously towards his burrow. They pick him up, and he pretends he's not there at all, but he is, and they know it. So they take him back to control points to live for another day.
Suspense, in which Mr. Jack Carson starred in William N. Robeson's production of Misfire, written by Tom Hanley. Supporting Mr. Carson in Misfire were John Daner, Barney Phillips, Sam Pierce, Eddie Firestone, and Norm Alden.
You gotta love it. Suspense, October 6, 1957, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Your being there means a lot to me, because if you weren't there, why should I do this? Who else would listen? And we thank you so much. And would you also please thank this radio station and support their advertisers, because it's their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream. Stream our shows. Learn more about building a collection of your own. You can contact me. You can find our social media links. You can also see where you can download our podcast from, and you can buy me a coffee. That buy me a coffee money goes for us to acquire additional great classic radio collections. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the radio dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, right here on your favorite radio station.